Before I get into this video, let me go ahead and say that this has a very hot take in it, and I don't expect anyone to agree with me. So if you're somebody that's easily offended by things you don't agree with, I highly recommend you do not watch this video. Go watch something fun instead. Thank you. I know everybody in your timeline is talking about Kanye West right now, but I have a fairly hot take about Kanye. One I think is so hot, I actually might get canceled for this one. But getting canceled is just a Tuesday morning for me. Cancel me again. Let's see if it takes this time, boys. Let's go. Before I share this opinion, let me remind you, I grew up in a small-ass town at a high school that had less than like 100 kids in it. My graduating class was like 18 kids. So when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, I hope you believe me because it makes obvious sense. My American history teacher, who also was our football coach, taught me that during World War II, the Holocaust had some silver linings, that we advanced medical technology, that we advanced other types of technology, and that whereas the Holocaust was one of the worst atrocities to ever happen, he tried to tell us that in the end there was a silver lining, and we should look at that silver lining. And this is a fundamental piece of misinformation. All of the research that I've looked at has shown me that this is an untruth. But I hope it gives you an idea of how people like me, you, and even Kanye West can be a victim to misinformation. And by now, you've seen this viral clip where Kanye praises the man that was in charge of those camps during World War II, where he says that, he built highways and invented the microphone, and that everybody brings value to the table, especially the mustache man. You know you've messed up when you say something so shocking, even Alex Jones tries to help you walk it back, but Kanye refused. He doubled down and tripled down and quadrupled down on his statement. So here's my hot take, and I'm going to preface it with one more thing. Is Kanye West a garbage human being? Yes. Is he a narcissist? Yes. Has he been abusive to Kim Kardashian and his children? Yes. 100%. And he is responsible for everything he says and does. Absolutely. However, Kanye West is a deeply troubled man. Specifically, he's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and he has stated recently that he is off of his meds, and this makes him a particularly easy target for certain individuals. And then when you take a look at the company that, Kanye's currently keeping, like Nick Fuentes is somebody who is a Holocaust denier and denies that it actually happened, then it's pretty easy to believe that people like Nick are feeding Kanye misinformation and using him as a mouthpiece. And I genuinely think that's what's happening. And it's certainly not the only time we've seen people trying to take advantage of a mentally ill Kanye West. You remember when they were trying to push the dying social media platform Parler into his lap because they knew he could afford the money? I mean, at least they failed on that one. At least Kanye backed out in the end. At least that fell apart. And let me be very clear. I have no sympathy for Kanye, right? He has been put into a position which is extremely fortunate, with a tremendous amount of money and power, and he's squandering it away right now. He's allowing terrible people in his life to talk him into doing bad shit, and then he makes the choice to do the thing they are talking him into. So I have no sympathy for Kanye. Instead, the point that I'm trying to make is condemning the people who are manipulating Kanye, condemning the people that have gotten into his ear and into his life. These white supremacist, Holocaust-denying pieces of shit like Nick Fuentes. Fuck that guy. Fuck anyone else who sees somebody who is mentally ill and decides that's someone they're going to exploit for their own personal gain. When you are saying stuff so outlandishly wrong that Alex Jones seems offended by it, he helps you walk it back, then you know you're in the middle of a severe mental health episode. And I really, truly, genuinely hopes that someone gets Kanye the help that he desperately needs before he puts even more hate and pain and misery into the world. But you know what? That's not going to happen because there's going to continue to be people that are going to take advantage of it, get into his ear, and manipulate him. There's going to continue to be podcasters who put him on the show for the ratings. There's going to continue to be Fox News and CNN segments where they rebroadcast every crazy thing he says and puts it out into the world. And then there's going to be YouTubers like me who talk about it. And we're all going to profit off of this man's mental illness. And it sucks. That's the world we live in. But we certainly do. And at this point, with all of the damaging things he has done to his family, to his friends, to the world at large, I don't care if he gets the help he needs for him. I don't care if he's happy or sad, if he feels good, if he feels bad. I genuinely no longer care. What I do care about is that he gets the help he needs so that people will stop exploiting him, stop manipulating him, and he will stop putting this kind of piss and vitriol into the world because it is doing genuine harm. It's as simple as that. And I know some of you are going to say, well, this is free speech. Kanye can say and do whatever he wants to say and do, and you're not entirely wrong, but there are consequences for the things you choose to say and do. And freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence. And you know who says that? Elon Musk, your free speech daddy himself, suspended him from his Twitter account to keep him from inciting violence. When free speech daddy shuts you down, you know shit's going wrong. I know people are going to call me a fence sitter for this opinion, and I'm prepared for that, but I don't think I can condemn Kanye any harder than I already am. But I think when we have a situation like this, it's important to look at why they're doing what they do, how they arrived at this point, and who the background actors are who are manipulating them into that situation. I've always done that, and I think it's important to do that here as someone who is also neurodivergent. As someone who also has their mental health problems, it's hard for me to not look at this situation and see that in it. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But I genuinely don't think I am. And obviously I'm not a very clever man sometimes, but I find myself extremely confused to live in this world that we now live in which a multi-billionaire rapper can talk about how much he loves Hitler, and then people on social media will agree with him and celebrate it. If you told that to 20-year-old me, he would have laughed at your ass. He would also wonder what the fuck social media was. At the end of the day, I want the same thing I've always wanted, and I think it's become increasingly difficult to achieve in this world. I want people to exist together. I want Republicans and Democrats to harmoniously work together. I want conservatives and liberals to agree on things and work on the things they agree on. I want us to accept that people around us will not feel the same way we feel, but we know that we have to exist in the same space, and we choose that harmony and kindness and love, and people like Kanye are doing their best to make sure we don't achieve it, and that sucks. But as usual, this is one man's opinion. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I know you're going to let me know in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon. God, get Kanye some fucking help. Stop putting him on your show.